All right, welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're on to Pythagorean life path number 8. So the number 8 is a very, very interesting, and it's probably the most talked about number. I get a lot of questions on the 8. People just love to talk about the 8 in general. They like to switch their names so they can have 8 in it. So I want to clear up a lot of those things today so you guys understand that the 8's a great number, but it's the same as every other number. It has its pros, it has its cons. All right, so when we look at the Western numerology, they agree it is controlled by the planet of Saturn. Saturn is controlling time. Saturn controls self-actualization, and Saturn controls restrictions, limitations, and resurrection. So what that means is this. The Saturn demands that you do things through your thoughts, words, and deeds that are justifiable. And it will bring you through suffering until you reach that point. So a lot of life path 8s will talk about how hard their life is. I'm a life path 8 myself, and they'll say that life isn't the easiest, this or that is occurring. And the reason for this is because you're not in line with a greater purpose. If you're in line with a greater purpose, each day becomes more so neutral, and you end up looking at life in a sense of, did this day go towards my purpose or away from it? Am I on momentum towards what I want in life, or did I use this day to procrastinate or complain? So life path 8s, they tend to have a hard knock life with money, powered influence. And what this means is, like, there's examples of life path 8s like Kylie Jenner, who was born into riches, but I would estimate that, and like I said in another video, that she may have problems with authority figures. Another set of good examples would be like Martha Stewart and Giorgio Armani, both of which went to jail, and after going to jail actually made the most profits. Like, I believe Martha Stewart right now is worth over $600 million. She's a very, very rich woman. So that shows a lot. So to get into the details of it though, life path 8 is a number of restrictions, talks about money, power, influence. Life path 8s do not get away with a lot. So if you are a life path 8 watching this video, watch out if you're going to do anything illegal, if you're going to do anything that's breaking moral code, because Saturn in the 8 really means karma. It means that your karma is a little bit amplified in comparison to other people. So this could be a good or a bad thing. If you can utilize your time, like I said, to do things that benefit your purpose each day, even though, let's say you have a plan of making like $1 million in 4 years, you might make the million in 2 because you're doing what the 8 wants, what Saturn wants, because you're actually doing things to influence the physical realm and staying inwardly good and moral, meaning you're actually staying inwardly disciplined. The foundation for the 8 in general, I would argue, is discipline. If you're able to discipline your thoughts, that means you're going to discipline yourself to think positively, to not judge others, and to let life be what it's going to be. If you can discipline your words, you're going to only speak things that are going to benefit you and your purpose, and maybe benefit others if you care about that said person. If you discipline your actions, that means you're going to do things such as work out and do activities that are going to benefit your purpose. If your purpose is money, then you're going to do things like get extra incomes to then solidify that goal into reality. So that's what it really comes down to. Does 8 have good luck with money? Definitely not. I know a lot of 8s will either be extremely rich or they'll just be on the street broke. The 8 is the extreme number and gets a lot of notoriety because it gives extreme life circumstances, in the sense that either you're going to be somebody who is extremely successful as an 8, meaning you're going to be rich and famous, or you're going to be mediocre, meaning you're not going to be much at all. With other numbers, you can find yourself being in the middle, where you maybe have a nice job and you have good family, but you didn't hit all your goals, so you're a little bit not content. Because if the 8's your life path, that means it's like your subconscious mind. You're subconsciously always going to feel like you lack value, you lack fulfillment. So as an 8, you need to chase the dream of having a lot of money. You need to chase the dream of having the status and the power. And not from an egotistical standpoint, but from a spiritual standpoint. And this is another point with the 8. The 8 has 2 circles, guys. The first circle on the top, I would say, is like representing the physical realm. And this is all Western numerology, it's not Eastern. The bottom one now is the spiritual realm. And 8's all about balance and karma. So when you turn 8 on its side, it turns into infinity, meaning infinite possibility, infinite states of being. So you need to understand that when you have the 8 in that sort of place, like a life path, according to Pythagorean, you do have life circumstances that are going to motivate you to become very powerful. You're supposed to learn how to have extra love during this time. You're going to realize you have the Midas touch toward manifestation, but you want to make sure that you're not ruthlessly exploiting other people. A lot of 8s tend to end up doing that, but like Giorgio Armani, like Martha Stewart, they end up He's suffering from it. 50 Cent's another great example, got shot 9 times through ruthless actions. Did they learn from this? Yes, and they got a better business acumen from their suffering. And that's what the 8 gives you the power from, is the suffering and other circumstances that may come out of life. Another point that I want to make with the 8 is the family life. So prior to everything else, when you're growing up as a life path 8, before I even knew about numerology, like I don't have much family, like cousins, relatives. I just have my mom, dad. That's pretty much it. When you're an 8, that's pretty much what you're going to go through. You might not even have a mom or dad. A lot of 8s I've noticed have very, very tough family lives. They say 4s do. I'd say 8 then doubles that. 2 4s equals 8. 8s always have a family life that is sort of, it sort of brings the attention to poverty and money and power and influence, and it makes it extra important. Because you'll notice that maybe your parents don't have good jobs, or maybe they're abusive towards you and you want to prove them wrong. But your family life, your early stages in your life are going to form the character that you're going to become. And you can use them to either become great and disciplined and use it to create mental fortitude through the suffering that you've received, or you can use it to get drawn to addictions such as alcohol and drugs, etc. It's up to you to, in turn, like make the choice as of what you would like to do with your life. If you're going to choose to be productive and active and understand the laws of the universe and you're following them, the 8's going to give you nothing but good luck. If you're going to go against that and have lack of discipline and expect good results, don't expect that to happen. I'd argue that life path 5 and 6, that may be the case where sometimes they can get away with a little bit more in life because they have good luck numbers. But as the 8, you're here for the enlightenment of how karma works. And that's what it really comes down to. The finalization of this number is its life lesson is to explain to you how karma works. I notice a lot of Western numerologists, they more so delve into the money part of it, and it's fair, but at the same time it's not, because the thing about it is this, guys. Before money, numerology was still around. People were still born on specific dates. So what it really comes down to is power, and power is made from universal laws. What's inside is what's outside. Your inner world creates your outer world, which is manifestation. So what it really comes down to is how you think and how you're going to perceive things. If your perspective is right for the game of life that we play, you're going to win. If your perspective is going to be complacent and undisciplined, then you're going to know what's going to happen from there. It's going to be amplified. So in my final notes or thoughts on this, for lack of a better word, guys, is this. If you are an 8, focus for a year, at least, experiment about disciplining and observing your thoughts, thinking about the negative thoughts and observing them, and actually concentrating heavily on them and realizing the illusion within them. Understand that they're illusory. Focus your words towards only saying what's necessary. A lot of 8s are misinterpreted for what they say, and they get in a lot of arguments, make a lot of enemies. Concentrate your words towards positivity and viewing and speaking only when it's influential towards something that's important. Meaning, like, watching the news and other sorts of propaganda is not going to do you any good. Focus on results through your words as well. And through your actions, only do actions that are actually going to benefit that set purpose. If you're able to discipline every facet of your life, meaning your work life, your family life, your extracurricular life, your relationships, you're going to create a lot of respect, and people are going to look at you like the natural leader that you are. Career aspects, this is known as the executive number, so you can be anything from a CEO to an athlete. It really comes down to where you see yourself going in the future. This is also a very entrepreneurial number, similar to the 1. You guys definitely have the guts and the grits to get this done. So you got to make your choice in that regard. 8 is rife with authority issues, like I said, because of the power part. So if you're going to be in a company, aim for the top. If you don't want to work your way to the top in a company, I'd recommend entrepreneurship based on what I've read. All right, guys. So aside from that, that will end the video on the Pythagorean Life Path 8. But if you guys have any more questions regarding it, please leave it in the comments for me. I will be going into expression numbers next week, so it'll be a little bit different again in regards to how I describe each of these numbers. But it's going to be very, very interesting. I have a lot of details to share with you guys. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it.